Hey y'all, good morning. Gonna give y'all a second to get on here. It's a Thursday morning, bright and early. All right, so my name is Maura. I am the website manager here at Ugly Mug Marketing, and today we are going to go through 21 essential things that your website needs for the year 2021. So I'm going to be going back and forth between a presentation for you to look through, just so that you'll be able to see some examples of what I'm talking about. So we're going to jump right in. I'm going to share my screen with you here. Excellent. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to jump right in and start with a little bit about myself. My name is Maura, like I mentioned. I love hiking, as you can see in this picture here. And I also love my dog. His name's Saber. He's a Husky German Shepherd mix. So he's a little bit sassy, but a very lovable dog. So that's him on the right side here. That's a little bit about what I do outside of work. But when I'm at work, I'm focused on helping our clients with their websites to be able to reach goals for their companies. So today we're going to walk through 21 things that your website needs in the year 2021. It's right around the corner, y'all. We are in December. January is coming up. So today we're going to be talking about the year that we've had, what you need before your new website, what needs to be included in your website, and then how we're going to start. So let's just jump right in and talk about the year 2020. It has been a crazy year. So many different changes, so many different hardships for everyone, not just in Louisiana or the United States, but all over the world. So this kind of gives us all a chance to understand where we're all coming from, right? We have something in common with every single person on the planet. So with that in mind, I love this quote from Walt Disney: "The past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or you can learn from it." So let's take what we learned in the difficult year that we've had and use it to grow in 2021. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. We're going to go ahead and jump in on what you need to have before your new website in 2021. If you've heard any of our website webinars before, you've heard this multiple times, and I'm going to say it again because it is incredibly important. The goal of the website is the most important thing for your website whenever you're building it. So before you start building it, you need to have this goal in mind. And I know I've said this before, and it's a tool and you can use it, but this time I want to give you some examples so that it's a little more realistic. You can actually see an example of a goal for your website. So right here, we have 5 different examples of goals. Now, I'm not saying yours has to fit into this, just saying these are examples to help you think through what you want your website to do for you. It's an advocate for your brand. So you have a brick and mortar store, and people come into your store and they know who you are physically when they can see you. But do they get that same impression when they go to your website? That's what your website can do for you, is it can be an advocate for you in a digital world. Another one is raise awareness. If you have something that you're trying to show to others, your website is a great way for you to do that. Build a loyal audience. So like I just mentioned, you can have that brick and mortar store where people come in, they know you, they love you. Do the people online love you just as much? What do you want your website to do? What do you want it to accomplish for your company? And then these last 2 over here are probably the most common goals. I do suggest these are kind of vague. So I do suggest that whenever you create your website goal, that you make it specific to your company. So the fourth one here is promote a product. So if you have something you're selling, whether it's a coaching academy or some sort of service that you're trying to sell to others, your website is the perfect place to do that. And then the last one there is sell goods. So this is for all of our e-commerce websites. That's what the goal of those websites is to sell your products. So these are just some ideas, but the number one thing you have to have is a goal for your website. You ready for number 2? A domain name. So the domain name is whatever people type in to the search bar. So for us, ours is uglymugmarketing.com. Why is this important? If you have a company that's not, either the name's not extremely different or unique, or you're using like a city name or something like that, other people might have what you're looking for. So you want to make sure that before you launch your website, you have a domain name picked out that you love and that connects people to your company. So you got to keep it short. Ours is a little bit longer. That's because we have included marketing in ours. Easy to type. So when I think of your company, is what I'm typing out going to be easy to type? Is it going to be short enough that I don't have to remember it? Because that last one there is be memorable. So just a little hint here, if you have a lot of miscellaneous letters, so if it's an abbreviation of your company and it's just one letter after another and doesn't actually spell something out, keep in mind that you don't want it to be too long, because then it's going to be harder for people to remember what it is. That's the second thing, domain name. Going right along with that, the third thing is you have to have secure hosting. So the hosting is where all of the files for your website are kept. So the domain name tells people where to go to see your website, and the hosting stores all of the files. You have to have both of them in order to have a live website. So before you start your website, you want to make sure your hosting company that you're going with is secure, because with your website, you have to give trust to the people who are viewing it. And if you don't have a secure website or secure hosting, you're not helping with the trust aspect. So you got to make sure you have secure hosting for your website. Okay, you've heard this one before too, but we're mentioning it again because it is incredibly important when you're coming up with the goal of your website to be able to answer the critical 5 questions for the rest of the content or the design of your website. We're going to go through these quickly, but if you have any questions on these, please leave a comment, let us know, send us a message, because I would love to talk to you more about these in more detail. So these questions are: who is here? What action should they take? When should they take it? Why should they take it? And how can I convince them? This can be used for creating content, taking images, videos. It can be used for the design process of your website. It's incredibly important to know who is coming to your website. When they get to your website, what do you want them to do to directly affect the goal of your website? Sometimes there's time frames related to that, so you have to know when you want them to take that action. And then as a viewer who's coming to your website, what do I get out of it? You have to think through all of these questions. And then the last one there is, how can I convince them? So what text am I using? What design am I using in order to convince my viewers to take that action? Brief overview of the critical 5 questions, but they are incredibly important to have before you start your website. Okay, so that was all before. So before you sign somebody's contract or start with a company, make sure you have those questions answered so that it'll help you through the entire process of building your new website. And if you already have a website, you can still go through these 21 things and make sure your website hits all of these options. And I know I'm saying 21 a lot, and that's a lot of different things to remember. So I do have a PDF printout of this checklist for you. If you want it, just reply in the comments, let us know that you want it, and we'll send it over to you. If you're anything like me, sometimes after 5 or 6 things, you're like, what was it? So if you would like that checklist of the 21 different things, please let us know and we'll send it right over. Okay, what needs to be included in your website? We are at number 5 out of 21, consistent branding. So this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, is when people come to your store in person, they know who you are, they know your vibe, your feel, they love you based off of that. When they come to your website, do they feel the same thing? Do they get the same emotions from your website as they do from going to your store? Your website is an opportunity to be able to blend your online presence with your physical presence in a great way. So make sure your branding, logos, colors, photography styles, text styles, all of that matches no matter where it is put. Okay? Number 6, a responsive design. So almost every single person on the planet has one of these things, your phone, and most of the world is actually using their phones to look at websites. So you want to make sure your website has a responsive design. So that means it's responding to the size screen that you're viewing it on. You'll see right in front of you here, one of my favorite websites, Boomerang Ski Bikes. You can see how the design varies depending on which device it's being viewed on. So you'll see right here, the mobile device is a whole lot smaller. There's not as much space to see what's going on, so the design is slightly different. You'll see over here that this starts off, if you have ever gone to their website, starts off with this incredible video. I suggest you go to their website because this video is pretty cool. So it starts off with this amazing video on a desktop version, but that video wouldn't look as cool on the mobile because it would be smaller. So this has been changed. This is a shorter video clip down here, and it's slightly cropped in a different way so that it fits better on a cell phone. And you'll see over here the tablet is slightly different as well. It's not quite the full desktop version here, but it's slightly bigger than the mobile version. So make sure that your website has a responsive design, because over 52% of people who are looking at websites are using their phones to do so. One quick and easy trick to know whether or not your device is mobile friendly is if you go to your site, or if you are on your phone and you have to zoom in using your fingers to see something or to click on something, then it's not mobile friendly. Or if you see the site come up right here and then it scrolls back and forth, it's not mobile friendly. So make sure you go ahead and test your website to verify that those who are viewing it from their mobile devices are able to see everything on your site in a great way. Very important. All right. Number 7, one main call to action. So we'll link this to the goal of the website, right? If somebody's coming to your site, you want them to reach, like you want the website to be able to accomplish its goal. So in order for the website to accomplish its goal, you have to tell people what to do when they get there. And that's what your call to action is. So you want people to do one thing when they get to your website. Now, you can have multiple calls to action on your site, but you want to make sure you have one that's very clear. So as a viewer, I don't get confused when I show up to your site. On the screen here, you'll see two different versions of a call to action that are done really, really well. Netflix right here, as soon as you get to their site, there's one main call to action. It's in the center of the screen. You see it. You really can't see anything else on the screen because it's slightly faded before you see put your email address in here to start. They do an excellent job of the one main call to action. Now you'll notice up here they do have a secondary one, and that's to sign in. So that's hitting the point that I just made. You can have multiple calls to action, but you want to make sure that the very first second or two that I get on the website, I know exactly what you want me to do as a viewer. And then down here, Google also has a great call to action, right? It's the search bar. What do you do when you get to Google? You want to search something. So that's why it's right here set up for you. Now, if you were on, if this was full screen, you would see another sign in button up at the top. But keep that in mind. You want people to know exactly what you want them to do whenever you get to, or whenever they get to your site. Along that same line of keeping things clear, you got to have a clear description of who you are. Whenever someone gets to your website, they got to know what you do. 46, that's a lot. It's almost half. 46% of buyers will leave a website if it's not clear what the company does. So you have a chance to convert people who come to your website from casual viewers into clients, right? You lose that chance with 46% of the people who are coming to your site if they cannot tell what your company does. Make it as clear as possible. No confusion. Gotta have it. All right, number 9, contact information. So when I'm going to a website, I'm either going because I've heard about somebody, I'm looking for something particular. Either of those, most of the time, I want to know how I can reach the company. So you have to have contact information that is very visible. You'll see here on our website, as soon as you get to our site, you'll see that contact right in the top right-hand corner. But if you scroll through our website, you also see it in the bottom of every single page. You'll see it right down here. We have a phone number. We have our social media links, and we also have the option to send a message to us. Make sure people can get to you or find out what they need to very, very quickly without much confusion to make the process for your viewer a whole lot easier. Got to have that contact information. Along with that, you have to have a simple navigation. Yes, some navigations have to be very complex in order to create or to capture everything. If you look at Amazon, Amazon has a navigation that has so many different drop downs and so many different options, but that helps the viewer to be able to choose where they want to go. For you, you need to have some sort of navigation that tells what you do and is very clear for your viewers how they can find whatever they need to. So we encourage you to have a very simple navigation, as simple as you can get it. Ours, we've narrowed down to 3 links: services, why us, and contact us. From those 3 links right there, you can find anything that you need to know about our company through the website. Services, when you hover over it, it has a drop down. This drop down shows you the different services that we offer, so you can get more specific on what you're looking for. Why Us tells about our company, our team, and any job applications we might have. That's all under the Why Us section. And then Contact Us, just like we talked about, is how you can get in contact with our team. So make sure your website has a very clear navigation so that when I come to it, I'm not confused at where I need to go. All right, you hanging with me? You still there? This, I think we're on number 11 already, out of 21. But just like I mentioned earlier, if you're losing track of these and you want a printout checklist, let us know, put it in the comments, and we'll send that over to you. I love checklists because it shows me everything that I need to do all in one place. So if you would like that, just let us know and we can send it over to you. All right, number 11, a place to capture leads. Somewhere on your website, you need to have the opportunity for your viewers to become leads, to hopefully become clients. Here's a couple different examples of some of the websites we've worked with of different lead capturing locations. So right over here, this is ours. So when you go to our contact page, this is what you'll see. You'll see, let's do something amazing together. And then there's a quick form. If you want, you can fill it out and then click send and it'll come our way. That's one way to capture a lead for your website, is this type of form. Couple different ways here. This one right over here is Profit by Design podcast. They have the opportunity for people to join their email list to be able to stay up to date on all of the podcasts that are coming out or any cool things that are happening with the company. So they leave the opportunity for you to sign up using your email address to get added to their list. Down here, the Central Louisiana Community Foundation does the exact same thing. By clicking subscribe over here, you can fill in that information as well. These are just some different ways to show you how you can create a lead from your website. This one right up here, I love this line, want some info that's not here. So if I'm going to a site and I'm looking for something and I can't find it, and I saw this line right here, I'm like, yeah. So you can go ahead and click this contact us button and it takes you to the contact page where you have their phone numbers, their emails, anything that you would need in order to get in contact with them. Just some examples, but you got to have a place to create leads from your website. Remember, goal of your website, in order to accomplish the goal of your website, you got to have a call to action. You got to tell people what to do. And in order to create create casual viewers into clients, you got to have some way to capture their information for either you to reach out to them or for them to reach out to you. Create a place to capture leads. Okay, social proof. Number 12, you gotta have it on your website. Okay, social proof can be shown in so many different ways. Here's just a couple examples, but why? Why should you have social proof on your website? People love you, but if they do love you or your company, are they taking your word for what you're saying about yourself? Or are they taking what other people are saying about you? More often than not, they're listening to other people more than they're listening to you. Here's a couple quick ways to show how other people or what other people are saying about you on your website. This top one right up here is a music studio company. So they help music studios grow and become better studios. And this one right here is showing you where they've helped other people. So if I look at this map, I'm like, okay, look at all of their different clients. That's pretty impressive. And they're all over the world. That's even better. They know what they're doing. I get all of that from this picture of a map. I'm trusting the map, so other people who have used this company, more than I'm trusting what text is on their website. Another way you can do that right over here is through testimonials. Testimonials is very literally what other people are saying about you. Important, because as somebody who's coming to your website, if I want to know how you do business or how you interact with your clients, I'm going to read these testimonials. Another option right up here is having some sort of 5-star or a star notation on your site. So right here, we could connect our website to our Google reviews. That way you could go and read all 19 reviews if you wanted to. It's another way of giving people access to who you are and what others are saying about you in order to help build that trust to enable me, the casual viewer, to turn into a client. And then another option down here, you'll see this logo here on the Wildwood website. They got voted 2020 Traveler's Choice by TripAdvisor. So if I got voted that, I'm going to highlight it because it's what other people are saying about me. It's giving a reason for those viewers to trust how we do business. Gotta have it somewhere on your website. Okay, number 13, an SSL certificate. Okay, back at the very beginning, we talked about secure hosting. This SSL certificate goes along with that, but it is different, so you have to have both. An SSL certificate is, well, it's very complicated, but it's a code that gets put on your website that basically proves and authenticates your company, matches your website. It's all good. So this little lock, you'll see it up on the top left-hand corner of your browsers right next to your domain name. It'll either have a lock that shows secure or it'll say not secure. You got to have an SSL certificate on your site to show the little lock, which gives your viewers trust, right? But another thing it does, sometimes if you don't have an SSL certificate and people are viewing your website either on a phone or a tablet, even some browsers, a little warning will pop up that says this site is not secure. Are you really sure you want to continue? You don't want to give that mistrust to people who are looking for your website before they even get there. Got to have an SSL certificate. It's fairly inexpensive, probably around $80 a year, depending on who or which hosting company you're going with. But got to have it on your website. That's number 13, which leads us to number 14, social media links. So let's connect who you are in person, it's your physical store, to your website, but let's also connect your social media, that or those platforms, depending on which ones you have, to your website as well, so that I, as a viewer, can find out whatever I want about your company from one place. Here are just a couple different ways of how you can show that. Up here in the top corner, I mentioned earlier that you could get to our social media accounts from our website, and that's shown here. This is just another way to show that. Same here. Another way to connect or to show the connection on your website. Like I said, it can be done in multiple different ways. So this one down here, not only is it a link, so it'll go directly to that social media account, but it has their handles shown as well, just to make it a little easier. If you don't want to go there right now, you can write that down, or if you're looking at it on somebody else's phone and you're trying to search for it, very easy to find. Another option right here is to have it embedded on your website. And that's what the Central Louisiana Community Foundation did, is they embedded their Facebook feed, so what shows up on their Facebook page, into their website. So as a viewer, I don't have to have a Facebook account to be able to see what's going on in their Facebook page. Different options, but you got to have some connection to your social media links. Just a little plug here. If you don't have your social media account set up, give Hannah or Lydia a call because they would love to help you do that. Okay, number 15. We're getting closer, y'all. Out of 21. Like I said before, I know this is a lot, but if you want a printout version of this or something that you can write over, let us know and we'll send you the checklist that includes all of the 21 different things. Okay, number 15, fresh, concise content. So each of these words here is very, very important for the content that's on your site. Fresh, it's got to stay up to date. You have to update the content, the text, the images, the videos that are on your site in order to stay relevant and to give people that continued trust in your company. If I come to your website and I see something that says 2010, did you not update your website since 2010, or is that when it happened? Immediately as a viewer, I get confused, skeptical, and be like, I don't know if the rest of the content on this site is accurate. How can I trust it if I know it's been 10 years since this part has been updated? So fresh, very, very important. Got to keep it updated. The next one is concise. You have to have a clear way of saying what you want to say in as little words as possible for everyone to understand. 28%, this is an average, people you read or comprehend about 28% of the words that are on a web page. Out of all the words on your website, if somebody came to it and they only got 28% of those words, would they get enough about your company or understand enough or trust you enough in order to want to become your clients? Think through that. Think through how you're putting the content out there and how you're convincing people to purchase things or to trust you. Keep it concise. Put it in a way where anyone can read it and understand what you are trying to say. If you have questions on that, let me know, because I have some great resources for content and how to make it user-friendly for anyone who's coming to your website. Let me know. All right. Along with that, number 16, you have to have high-resolution images and videos on your site. So I want to show you a picture here. This is one that I took of my dog. This is Saber. And this, whenever you see these two images, first off, you're drawn to the one that's on the right side. You're drawn to this one. And that's because the image is crystal clear. You can see everything. Like, you can see the fur on him standing straight up, right? Now, if I look over here on the left-hand side, it's blurry. I can't get that same emotion from the picture as I do from this one with it being out of focus. So the images that you use on your website should be this crystal clear. You should have brilliant images on your site, and it's really not that hard to do. If you have a professional photographer, yes, their images are going to look crisp, clean, and beautiful, but you can do it yourself too. You have this thing, an iPhone, right? Take your pictures in landscape mode right here. Don't zoom in. and just tap on them to make sure the focus is correct. Tap on your screen. And most iPhones will give you a very high quality image that you can use on your website. Keep it in mind, you want to have really, really good quality images on your site. Images or videos for that matter. If you have videos, make sure they're not blurry. Or if they are blurry, it's on purpose. All right. Mega important right here. Number 17, we're so close. Number 17, fast load time for your website. There's so many different things that lead to how fast your website loads. So when you're working with your website designer, make sure you address each of those. A key one is images. So when you have these large images over here, you want to make sure they're optimized. So they take up less space, so less load time, which means your site will load faster. 47% of consumers, so people who are coming to your website, expect it to load in less than 2 seconds, or about 2 seconds. And this is the kicker here, 40% of people will abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds to load. So if you're waiting and waiting and waiting for a website to load, you're like, it's not worth it. You got to make sure you have a fast website load time. Okay. Along with that, you want to make sure your website is SEO relevant. So you got to have metadata for the site. Some key things to have thought through with this are keywords, titles, and descriptions. All three of those will help others find you when they're searching for you on Google or any other browser. If you have questions about SEO, I want to point you to a great website, neilpatel.com. If you go to /SEO-analyzer, this is where you can put your website in there and it'll give you a score, tell you what you need to work on with your SEO. But you got to have some sort of additional help for your website for people to find you. So that's your keywords, that's your descriptions, and that's your titles. Got to have it. Website backup. Y'all, we're at number 19 out of 21. We are so close. Number 19, you got to have website backup. So whenever you create or set up your hosting account, go ahead and purchase that website backup. Usually it's like $2, $3 a month. What that does is it stores versions of your website sporadically. So it's like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, something like that. So that just in case something does happen, you have a version of your website that you can go back to before whatever happened. Got to have that backup. I just love this picture so much. A little robot dude. So got to have it. It'll help prevent losing your website or losing a version of your website. Okay. 20, number 20, almost done, but this is incredibly important. So I want you all right now to go to your websites. Go ahead, pull it up on your phone. And I want you to do this 5-second test. So I'm going to count 5 seconds. And in that 5 seconds, from looking at your website, can somebody who goes there knows what you do? So if I go to your website, within 5 seconds, I have to know, first off, I have to know your company, have to know what you do, and the added benefit or bonus there would be to have some sort of trust or something for people to go from recognition to acceptance. So you ready? 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Within that 5 seconds, I should know what I need to know about your company on your website. Go ahead, if you didn't have a chance to pull up your website, go ahead and do it whenever you have a spare second or 5. You want to be able to test that out so that your viewers get the most out of your website as soon as they get there. Remember what we said earlier about people not knowing who you are when they come to your website? If they don't know who you are or what you do, they're going to leave. You got 5 seconds. Tell them who you are and what you do. Okay, that leaves number 21, how to start your new website. Got to have a conversation. So whether it's with us or with any other design firm out there, you want to make sure you have a conversation before you start the website process. We actually have 13 questions that you should have answers to before you sign. If you want those 13 questions, let me know and we can send them over to you. They're very important in helping you be fully prepared for the website process and to be able to question your website design company to make sure you're on the same page. So start with the conversation with us. Ugly Mug Marketing, you'll talk to 2 main people for the website department. And the first one is Dan, right over there. He is our business development manager. He loves to talk to anyone who calls to walk through their goals of what they're looking for. And then he'll help lead you towards the service that would best fit you. And then right there, you'll see me as well. I'm the website department manager. So if you have any questions or want to talk through anything, I'm here for you as well. I do want to give you a little bonus. So that was 21 things that you have to have for your website for the year 2021. I want to give you a little sneak peek of what we at Ugly Mug Marketing do. We have a 5-phase website process. The first phase is design. We build custom websites. So all of our websites, we start with a blank piece of paper, draw out the designs, and then create them in Photoshop, and then build the website. Each of these designs, it's kind of like the blueprint phase of a house. When you're building a house, is you can move things around, you can get rid of things, you can add things. It's all part of the design process. From the design process, we go into a coding phase. That's when we turn those images, those pictures, into a website. If we go back to the house analogy, that's when the walls go up on the house, right? You see the frame of your new house. Content phase, this is where we put in all of the specific content where it relates to you on your website. So this is like picking out a paint color, if you're going to go tile or hardwood. What are you doing to your house to make it come to life? That's what the content phase is of the website process. Leads us to pre-launch. You go back through the website, make sure there's no spelling errors, making sure all of the links are working correctly, making sure it looks correct on all of the devices. When you are getting ready to move into your house, you're walking back through it. You're making sure the contractor did everything how you wanted it to, that there's no windows painted shut or doors opening the wrong way, right? That's what the pre-launch phase is for the website. Then the last phase is the launch phase, my favorite, because everything that you've worked on in the previous 4 phases comes to life. That's when you have that housewarming party to show off the new house that you have built. So that's a quick sneak preview of our 5 phases. Wanted to give you a little insight of how we actually build websites here with you at Ugly Mug Marketing. And then last stop here, this is our team. We have actually added another team member in here as well since this picture, but we are all here for you. We want to help you and your company succeed. And one way for us to be able to do that is to give you this list of things that you need to have for your website to make it a success in the year 2021. So 2020, it's been a year. I'm glad we don't have to go back and redo it. But that gives us the year 2021 to learn from what happened this past year with businesses, with global shutdown, stuff like that, that gives us a learning that we can take from the year and we can translate it to 2021. A digital presence for small businesses, especially, is incredibly important in this world we're living in now. Incredibly important. So don't let everything that's happened in 2020, don't run from that. Don't ignore it. Learn from it so that your company can succeed in this following year. We're here for you. I hope y'all have a blessed holiday season and a happy new year. This is how you can get in contact with us. My email address is here, Maura, M-A-U-R-A, @uglymugmarketing.com. Like I said before, if you would like this list, this checklist of 21 different things, put it in the comments and we'll send it right over. Hope y'all have a blessed day.